All right, we should be ready. Let me know if there's anyone there. Let me know if we're live. Yeah, we should be good. Cool, cool, cool. Things apparently are working, which is always nice to see. How you guys doing? Right? How's the quality? Can you hear me well? Excellent. Let me know in the chat if you're hello, morning. It's cool. Time zones are a thing, right? I'm 5 p.m. here. But I guess for a lot of people, especially from even the BackerKit page, all the timing is done with Pacific Coast time zone. So it's 9 a.m. I'm assuming. I know it's not a perfect timing for a live stream, but yet here we are. 1 a.m. where I'm at, 9 a.m. in Vancouver. You see? Yeah, time zones complicate our lives, but we do what we can, right? Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out here. This is my first stream from the new office now. I just realized that is also the time that the restaurants on the street start having live music. So if you listen to some background music, I hope I don't get copyright claimed, but it's not my intention. It happened spontaneously. So how's my hair? How's the lighting? How's the sound? Hello, Patricia. Oh, glad that you made it. So you have a session tonight or today. I don't know. Amazing. Hope you enjoy it. Right. Who else is here? And where are you talking from? It's always good to know. Like we're a worldwide community of RPG players. I have here my setup for today. So the plan, what I have in mind for today. I'm going to, as I said, we started a demo session, play testing, pretty much demoing how to solo play as a game master. And I published this as a video on my YouTube channel. You can check out later. But it was a lot of fun. I haven't finished the adventure module, although it's just a single page. And I thought, why not continue here and having you guys participating as well. So, hi Lucas, how are you doing, my friend? So we could like rearrange some of the things that I've made. I actually rewinded a bit of the adventure to the beginning, and we can make decisions and use the tool and create the options together using y'all as a collective oracle, so to speak. So that should be fun. I had a little problem in the beginning. I was testing out OBS and I accidentally started the stream. So I had to reset, hide the other stream, duplicate it, and change the links everywhere. But if there's people here, I'm assuming I did all right. I hope people are not lost in other pages, still waiting for the stream to begin. Let me see how we're doing here. Yeah, I think we're good. We have 11 people here. So yeah, hopefully I didn't make a huge mistake by doing that. Morning, Israel. Can you give some background for Triple O? Yes, of course I can. Any question in particular you have, just let me know. Like any doubt, or you want to know how I created, how I came up with the thing, or what's the purpose of that? I'll start by saying that when I play solo games, I usually tend to enjoy more the part of it that is GMing. We kind of change different hats when we play solo. Like we have a protagonist, and sometimes we make decisions as the game master. But traditionally, we leave the emulating part to the GM. So we have game master emulators, and we tend to focus more on being the protagonist. Now, what I wanted to do was do the opposite. Focus more on being the GM, so the large-scale things like interweaving scenes and describing NPCs and scenarios and challenges, and being able to outsource what would be the decisions that the characters make to something else. And I looked for character emulators out there. There are some before Triple O that were very inspiring to me, but I thought I could give it a try. I mean, do it in my own way, and try to have an approach that was simple enough that wouldn't stay in the way. You know what I mean? It was a mechanic that would be evocative, but it wouldn't block the path of playing as the GM. Like you would have to consult a lot of tables or anything. So that's where Triple O was born. And I released the one-page version as part of the one-page TTRPG Jam. I believe it was back in 2024. And it was very well received. I think we're nearing 600 copies sold and a lot, like hundreds of community copies distributed. So it was a success, a huge success, much more than I expected. So I thought, you know what? Perhaps this deserves a little bit more love, a little bit more of explanations, details, and more support in tables. And that's why I'm bringing it back as a zine. Because then one page, okay, it still works. It is still the same core mechanic. You can even use the one page as like a cheat sheet. But on the zine, I can write examples of play. I can have tables for specific situations. And I think it's going to support your play more if you do that. Let me see some more questions here. Greetings from a fellow Brazilian. Hey, hello. A big fan of the one page and really curious about how this new version expanded. Got it. That's super useful. A bit of a subversion of the usual mechanic. Yeah, that's true, China boy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So excited to see what you added to practice GMing on my own. Also love the Spark tables from the one pager. Thank you, Patricia. Hey, Lucky, sorry for being late. Hello, everyone. No problem. Hey, thank you so much. Guys, if you haven't yet, go subscribe to Caverna do Lucky's YouTube page. He publishes a lot of cool stuff, and just recently published a playing Triple O with Dragonbane. Is it Dragonbane, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, true. Okay. Fully deserving of a zine. This is a great opportunity. Hey, I made it. Hello, Thiago. How are you doing? So yeah, so the plan for the zine is not to like increase complexity. I think the beauty of Triple O relies on its simplicity, because once you get how the mechanic works, you don't even have to consult the page anymore. It works on the background with a simple D6 roll. But what we'll have is, for example, we have Spark tables on the one pager that require a bit more of your input to interpret the results. And on the zine, we'll still have Spark tables, but we will also have tables like combat situations, social situations, and more that will allow you to have direct answers that does not require you to interpret, right? Because sometimes I like the Spark tables that are just like a verb and a noun, because they are very open, and this combination can lead to hundreds of possible interpretations. But sometimes you're a bit fatigued or tired. Those Spark tables require a creative toll, right? And I thought, you know what? Perhaps I have some things that I can do that will allow people to, in those specific situations, have a quick answer to know how to react on those situations. We'll back this to support you. Thank you, RPG Frequencies. I still use random realities all the time. Love the book. Thank you. Is character conversation also included in it? Yeah, that's a good one, Lekis. One of the stretch goals will be adding more tables, and I'll have a poll for all the backers to see what kinds of tables they want to have. So, you know what? Let me show you something. I think you're gonna like this. Check this out. This is a sneak peek, okay? Exclusive for you here live with me. So, all the new tables are going to be D66, so that is 36 entries. But I have here 6 examples of results. I'm still curating. When I came up with those tables, I got a bit excited and I wrote like 55 entries. So now what I have to do is go back at them. I even printed some of them. I think I have it here. I printed them all, and I'll curate which ones are more like exciting to include, right? So combat actions, this is a classic Oracle. So you can have like results like, what does the character do? Oh, he'll try to disarm an opponent, or feint to create an opening, or guard or defend a specific ally. In social situations, what my character does is intimidate or threaten, bluff or deceive, use reputation or credentials, name drop important connections, right? So you're in a negotiation or you're trying to get past the guard. How does your character react? And then you have those things here. But now I'm also creating something that I see less frequently. For example, exploration, that is a very important pillar of play. How do the characters behave in a scene that they are, for example, traveling the wilderness? Okay, this guy will scout ahead carefully, or search for hidden paths, map or mark the area, climb or gain higher ground. So this comes from years, like decades actually, of experience playing with other people and trying to remember what are the classic actions the characters will do and creating tables for this. Now this might be one that comes with the stretch goals. This is interpretation. What I mean by that is when the game master exposes a description of a place, of a clue, or of what an NPC says, how does the character interpret what has been exposed to them? Because you know, players, they create a lot of theories, so you can emulate that with this table. For example, misinterpret the situation entirely, which we know is something that happens frequently, or see a hidden danger or a direct threat, believes a trap, view it's a sign or omen, good or bad, sense an opportunity or an advantage. So let's say like they are visiting a mystic person, this person tells them about a prophecy, and this prophecy has a different possible interpretations. How does the character react to that? How does the character interpret what has been said? Then you roll and say, oh, he believes it's a trap or a setup. Oh, they don't believe the prophecy, so they think it's something else. Another potential table that I can use as one of the possibilities that you can vote on if you're a backer is questions. These are actually questions that the players would ask through the eyes of the character, right? So things that after you make an exposition about, like describe a room, these are things that a character would like to know, so the player would ask you. So something like, does anything look valuable? Does this remind me of anything? Is there another way around? So common questions that naturally would happen and you as the game master would have to answer, or but based on an adventure module, or come up with the answer at the moment. So these are things that Combat, social, and exploration, I think they will be on the core zine, and then interpretation, question, and even dialogues, as Lackey said, are potential ones that can be included if we reach the stretch goal, and then you can vote on it. Okay. Especially interested in use cases where you combine Spark tables with each other. Oh, I have very good, now that I have space, Patricia, I have very good examples of combinations in the zine. I'll even mark that down to make sure I include examples of combinations. The text of the zine is pretty much done. I'm just revising the tables, and then I'll be entering the layout phase already. So yeah. What else? What is your appendix and what were you inspired by when creating Triple O? Okay, so there's two character emulators that I'll put here on the chat called Pet and Petish. Petish, I think, is the spiritual successor to Pet. This is actually a player emulator, so it takes into account not what the character will do only, but also how the players at the table would behave. So things like, oh, the person is a bit tired or had a rough day, or he is like an optimizer, or she is like more of a storyteller. So the traits of the people get also included into the results here. Of course, Mythic GME is a classic. Although it is used as a game master emulator, there are ways to use it, just inverting the roles to emulate player characters. And also, since one of the biggest use cases of a player character emulator is to run published adventure modules, Mythic has published in the magazine, I assume, I think it is, yeah. On the Mythic magazine, there are tools to emulate, to actually break down adventure modules and play too. So I read a lot to create Triple O, and what comes to mind now are those. How would character traits influence the results on these new tables? Excellent question, Lekis. My favorite way of doing it would be to roll on these tables like two or three times, and they then place the results on the Triple O. So let's say I have a character that is very reserved and not diplomatic, but not very well versed in social tactics. Then I roll on the social things, and one of the results is like trying to intimidate. Okay, this is strange. I'll put this on the odd option. You know what I mean? And then listen carefully and make a proposal. Okay, this sounds more like this character. I'll put this answer on the obvious one. So you can place those. I use these tables mostly when I don't have an idea for one of the three options of what a character would do. So the obvious option is almost always easy to grasp. But the other two, the option and the odd, sometimes you don't have a clear idea, and then you need some more inspiration. Then I would roll on those tables and allocate the results accordingly. Found the one-pager a fascinating idea. Can't wait for the zine. Thanks, Carlos. Really looking forward for this being fleshed out. Will include examples of play? Yes, a lot. For two things that I've done. I break down the procedures in step by step. I think you can almost see here on this this mock-up here. But for now, after I've done this mock-up, what I did was, after each step, there's a small paragraph with an example. So every step of the way you have examples of play, showing the results, showing how you interpreted the results, showing how sometimes you don't need to roll the triple O check, you can go with your gut. So yeah, I'm doing this quite a lot. Carlos, sorry if I missed this at the start, but do you use the conflict resolution mechanics for the PC's game system, or abstract success failure further with triple O? Well, I'm glad you asked. You can do both. What I went ahead and did for the Zine version is I have a chapter dedicated exclusively to using the very triple O mechanic as a lightweight system. So you can actually resolve conflicts without the need of a complete game system. So you decide what they're going to do using the triple O, and then when they are about to act, you decide the outcome of the action using the triple O. I know this is something that some people won't use because they want to engage with the mechanics of the system that they're testing or playing with the nuance of the effects or the abilities, spells, and so on. And sometimes people play with triple O to practice, like running a published adventure module. So they want to test how the system interacts with the obstacles that they have in front of them. But sometimes, like I do, I play as the GM because I'm more interested in the narrative of the adventure, like how the things interconnect, how the players react, and how things are solved. And I'm not interested in the mechanical tidbits like hit points, or armor class, or spell slots, or anything. So what I did was I created this chapter that shows you how you can do that easily without the need of a fully fledged RPG system. You can just simply use the triple O, and you create 3 outcomes. Simple as that. For example, I try to slash him with a sword. The obvious would be that I hit. The option would be that they block me, and the odd would be that I miss so badly that I lose my sword temporarily. Roll the check and go from there. I even have a bit saying how you can use the results of those triple O checks to inform new traits for your character. For example, if you perform an action and you roll the triple O, and as a result your character got hurt, perhaps this wound is a temporary trait on your character that will inform their future actions. Like they will be perhaps more careful, they wouldn't try to run and everything. So yeah, that's gonna happen. Lexi, oh sorry. Any ideas for a conflict resolution between characters? I mean, when they don't agree with each other. Oh, so PvP, yes. I have a group action mechanic that includes a decision when characters are not aligned, so to speak. So it is mainly used when, for example, they don't agree on which way to go, or if they should take the offer from someone, or how they should proceed next. So you would create like 3 courses of action and roll a check to see which one goes in that direction. So, but it works the same way for PvP. So if a character is trying to do something, another one is against them, you can put the possible outcomes of this intrigue, this conflict between the party or among the party, depending on the number, and you roll the triple O check to decide that. Penflower Inc. Hi Cesar, just popping in to say hello and wish you a fun launch party stream. Hi Penflower, love your work. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Guys, if you don't know, Penflower is an amazing artist. They have a YouTube channel where they show their art process. I've learned a lot by watching their videos, and they're amazing. Go give them a follow. They're awesome. Let me see if I missed anything. The TRPG Kids jumping in to say hello. Very excited for that. Hi, Steph. Steph is another partner of ours here. We are doing a cross promo for games for all ages. I'll talk more about that during the stream. And they're launching mystery snacks. Let me show you guys. This is super cool. I think I can show it quickly for you. Shout out here for mystery snacks, bite-sized TTRPG mysteries for your gaming table. There's a link on the description of this video that says all ages RPGs, and it goes to a link tree with links for all of those games that we are cross collabing. Pretty cool, right? Let me see what else I have here. Love your inspiration and super excited for this. Thank you. That's great. Pleased to hear it. Great to have the option. Excellent. I'm so eager to put my hands on triple. Hello, Summit Solo. Glad to have you here. Quick and dirty role playing. If you want to go above and beyond, you can have an odd result be to roll another D6 tables for multiple. Yes, you could. Yeah. I mean, as I say on the instructions of play, when you start playing as the GM, emulating the characters, we have a tendency to overroll, meaning that every character decision I will roll a triple check. But then we start to struggle because the adventure stalls a little bit. So sometimes when it's just obvious, we just do what seems right at the moment, and we just use the triple checks for when the stakes are higher. But as Quick and Dirty Role-Playing says here, sometimes the stakes are really high and you want to really zoom into that decision. And like, for example, it might be like the difference between them surviving or not, or, finding treasure or solving an important puzzle that would lead to like a very important discovery in the adventure. And you don't want to hand wave that. Then on these moments, you could go ahead and zoom in and having granular decision for each step of the way. I think it's very valid. Oh, sorry. How is the physical zine going to be distributed? Is it going to be on Lulu or via Critical Kit? Thanks for the question. Critical Kit. In fact, I have a very good surprise for you guys. Let me show you that real quick. Right. So, Critical Kit is publishing this game, and we have a cross collab going on. Tim Roberts from Critical Kit is also launching a game for Zinetopia called Dead Boy, which is a solo role-playing game that you investigate the cause of your own death as a character, which is a fascinating concept. And we did something. Since he's my publisher, if you back our 2 zines, you pay shipping only once. That's pretty cool, right? Let me say that again. You back both of yours. If you back both our zines, you pay shipping only once. Why? Because we're printing the game together at the same time, and they will be shipped together to you on the same package because we aligned our timelines of development. So it will be shipping in April if all things go well, nothing like extraordinary in the world happens. And then you can back both, and we on the back end can check that information. And when it comes to the what is it called? the pledge manager as part of after the campaign is over. When we ask you to pay pay for the shipping, if you backed both, you pay only once and it's shipped to you. That's pretty cool, right? Let me show you their project. Dead Boy. You wake up dead. It's a lot to take in, but there is no time for philosophizing. You need to travel between earth, heaven, and hell to figure out who done it, how done it, why done it. A game about death, levity, and finding out hard truths. Pretty cool, right? So yeah, that's our gift for you if you back both of our projects. All right. Any more questions, guys? Let me go ahead and show a bit more. I met him at a exhibition last year. Nice guy. Yeah, Tim's the best. Also met Sarah. Yeah, Sarah's incredible. Yeah, they are doing a fantastic job. I mean, this collab with Critical Kit has been a huge change in my career. They're extremely nice people, and they've been supporting my projects immensely, promoting it, and I'm excited to be partnering up for one more. Does this also apply if you get more than one of both? Yes, it does. We have a system here that the shipping is fixed no matter how many books you get. So for example, I have a lot of add-ons in my campaign. You can get Weird Whimsy and Wonder, Everspark, Against the Wind, Wraith Hound, Random Realities, Midnight Melodies, and Insurgent as an add-on on my campaign. And no matter how many books you get, it doesn't increase your shipping. So it's a fixed price and pay once, and it covers everything. It's not based on weight. So yeah, go nuts. Let me show you some of the pledge levels that I have going on here. So it's going to be live in 30 minutes. So we have the PDF version. So you get the 000 one-page version for free as well. Then we have the print edition that comes with the PDF. Now you have some bundles. You can get 000 and Random Realities physical copies as a bundle. You can get 000 and Weird Whimsy and Wonder that I just finished as a bundle. 000 with Everspark. And I made this creation combo that is like my best tables altogether. 000 Against the Wind that has 195 tables. Weird Whimsy and Wonder and Random Reality that has like 4,000 and such entries. And you can get just the add-ons. You pay like €1 and then you go and buy items a la carte if you want to. Stretch goals. Reaching $3,000, you have more tables. So that's what I was talking before. Questions. What's the party focus? Social scenes. You get to vote on that. And 5,000, we get an interactive version. I'll make like an HTML that you can use both online and offline, and is both for desktop and mobile phone. What do you call when it is responsive? That's the word. And you can roll the 000 check and roll the Spark tables from the thing. I think that can be quite useful as well if you reach 5,000, right? The zine will be around 40 pages, but then if you reach stretch goals, we have more things. The layout, I think it's pretty cool. I really like what I've done here, using repurposed public domain images for the pages. Step-by-step procedures and practical examples. What else? Okay. Is the shipping deal worldwide or US only? Worldwide. Worldwide. That's a difficult word for me to pronounce. It is worldwide, yes. There are different tiers. So the price is different for each place, but it is fixed no matter where you live. I'm going to be poor after this crowdfunding. Yeah, appreciate your support. An app for this. Yes, we're going to do a little app. Yes. And you can even download the HTML if you want and run on your browser, but offline if you don't have internet connection. So that's excellent. We so need a publisher to bring your games to Brazil. PDF doesn't make justice to how beautiful they are. I appreciate, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I had some experiments. Nothing. I didn't have a way to publish my games in Brazil yet, but I'm open to the possibility. The only one that I did, Intrepidus, was so much fun. Thiago Junges is a good brother of mine, and it was fun. But he has his own things to publish, and he's a very busy man. But perhaps Tria would be perhaps a path. Yeah. But I mean, usually they approach me, like when I launched Against the Wind, in less than a week, I had Spanish and French publishers reaching out to publish it, and I signed contracts within a week. And I didn't hear anything from Brazilian publishers, but it is what it is, right? Okay. So you're 30 minutes away. What do you say we play a little bit? Or before I do, if you want to see anything special from the zine that I didn't show, or if you have any question that is not clear, go ahead and do that. And as you ask, I'll show you more of my other partners here. So, as I said, TTRPG Kids put together a group of authors that are publishing games that are good for all ages. And Triple, well, is suited for all ages. So I'm participating in that, and we are trying to cross-promote everything because they're very cool things. So I mentioned Mystery Snacks, which is TTRPG mysteries for all ages. This second one here is Lantern Light, which is a setting-neutral RPG for players as young as 8. So if you're looking for something to play with your kids, might check it out. Link is in the description again. I have here We and We, a gamified philosophy of living designed as an open real-world RPG. So it's an RPG about self-care. And we have Monsters Detectives, an investigation story game about monsters who run a detective agency. You can find all of those if you follow the link that says All Ages Games. Now, mind you, not all these games are on BackerKit. Some are in Kickstarter, some on itch.io, so they're not all part of Zinetopia. I think, in fact, from this list, only Mystery Snacks is, okay? Now, there's another cool thing that I want to show you. I don't know if you're aware, but BackerKit is doing electronic e-zine. If you back 5 or more projects that are part of Zinetopia, you get a free zine with one page created by each of the authors that are participating. So it's an exclusive material, not present anywhere else. And they have like extra rules, extra tables, activity pages, mini games, and more. I created an Animal Companion emulator, and I had so much fun doing that. I can't show you the whole page because it's exclusive for the e-zine, but I can show you this tidbit here. This is from the idle behavior table. You know, I don't know if you have this experience, but sometimes when you have an animal companion and you're playing, you sometimes forget that this pet is following you along. And this idle behavior table is, oh yes, of course, right. Where's my pet? What's your pet up to? So you roll a D66 and there is this table showing what your pet is up to. I have just 9 examples here, like chewing on something, acting suspiciously innocent, looking for food, making odd friends, knocking something over, fixated on a corner of a shadow. So if you have a pet, you know those behaviors. So I made a list of those 36 common behaviors of pets, and I made sure to include this. Besides that, there is it is an expansion of OOO that you use to emulate what they're doing. And depending on how bonded they are to you, you have more of a chance of them following your commands and doing what you want, or just going in their own way. So that was very fun to do. And so again, if you want to get the Animal Companion emulator, you need to back 5 or more projects that belong to the Zinetopia, and you get not only that, but a complete zine that is more than 60 pages with lots of RPG things from all the creators that are participating. I thought it was a very cool initiative, and this Animal Companion emulator is really, really fun. So yeah, that's another surprise for you guys. How are we doing? All right. Oh, thank you, Summit Solo. Appreciate it. Okay, I think we're ready to demo a little bit. How do you feel about that? Let me show you. Oh, before I do, if you back on the first 48 hours, I'll send you a free copy of the one-page version. All right, okay, it's just a one-page printed, but it's printed in nice paper. You can fold it in half and use it as a cheat sheet, okay? It goes free with all physical tiers. So back any physical tier in the first 48 hours, we'll send you one of those that you can use at your table too. Looks pretty cool, right? Now, I'm using here Canva whiteboard, and I don't know if you know that, but it is a very versatile tool for an ad hoc VTT if you don't want anything special. I could use like Albert Rodeo, but I can like highlight things here. I can use their own images as tokens. I can even embed a YouTube video that rolls a dice. That was something, but now I have the other dice roller here, right? So what we were doing was we were playing this one-page dungeon by Simone Santini. This is a very fun one-page adventure that you can get on a compendium of the 2021 one-page dungeon jam. So shout out to Simone Santini. And this is the main gist of the adventure is we are going through a museum of oddities that this Ernie guy is now a ghost that died, resented that nobody visited their place. And he cursed the museum so that any adventurer who would come in to steal his artifacts and died in the process would become a memoryless ghost, damned to eternally walk the museums. So I mean, super flavorful. The reason I chose this adventure is because, as you can see, there is like trap, treasure, trap, treasure. There are a lot of secrets. This would be a very complicated page adventure to play as the character without spoiling everything ahead, right? I know we that have been playing for a while now, we have the ability to separate character knowledge and player knowledge, but that goes only so far. It comes to a point that it kind of, I think, dilutes a bit of the mystery. And as one person wisely commented on my Discord server, by playing as the GM, you shift the reaction of, oh man, I wish I hadn't read this in advance, to, ooh, this is fun. I wonder what my characters will do about that. Which is for me like a very important shift in perception. Instead of being disappointed that you know the secrets, now you're interested to see what your characters will do with that information and how they will investigate, right? I think that is fun. Let me see. Okay. Bye, Patricia. Love using weird VTTs. Me too. Hi, am I late? Nah, you're okay. Well, all right, Lil, thanks for telling me about Triple O. All right, welcome. Oh, we're about to start demoing a little bit. So, as we left, as I said, I reset our characters to the ticket office. Let me remind you who we're playing with. We have 3 characters here. Erdith, she's a wizard. We have a blacksmith called Kel, right here, with a vicious dog called Cuddles. And we have Winning. She is formerly an alchemist. What I did here first, when you start playing, is after you create your character, you highlight some of the traits, the things that will inform you on the decision making and the behavior of the character. This can be anything. There are classes, there are skills, backstory, vices and virtues, what else? Alignment, bonds. And just to be very fun, I created one character from different systems. Each character is from a different system. This one I used the Cairn online generator. This one is Trophy Gold character generator, and this is a 5e character generator. And surprisingly, the 5e, the 2014 version, has my favorite part here, the traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. This is very juicy for Triple O because it really gives you like behavior ideas. So she has a charity ideal. She pockets anything that might have some value. Cheat at games. Often get in trouble and find a way out. It's a cook. She's a cook. And this guy has a desire to find the artifact. He's very good at endurance. And here, Winning is an alchemist. Craven and cautious, so cowardly. She was abandoned, but she's respected. So all these things, when it comes time for you to decide how the character will behave, all these things come into play, right? All right. So I put my characters back here, and the ghost of Ernest talking to them. There's advantages of playing with Canva is that you can have animated tokens, which I think is very fun. Cuddles is here, giving a lot of trouble, barking at the guy. I hope my big head is not in front of it. Let me see. No, you can see it. Excellent. Let's see. Right. And now, the first scene, the campaign says, the module, go back here. Ernie welcomes the adventurers, okay, offering as a guide. It will tell stories about the artifacts. If the PCs find out his true intentions, he disappears. If they try to leave the museum, he attacks to try and kill them. He's a powerful ghost and can summon animated objects to fight on his side. If the PCs are openly hostile from the start, he can lock the doors of the museum. So dozens of adventure ghosts roam the halls. Okay, they are harmless, don't have memory. They respond like they're in great pain. It just say a sentence, right? So the first thing here is when I played the demo on the other video, we decided to go towards this room here, room number 5. And I think that to make things interesting, let's do the other room. Let's go straight ahead. Let's say, like, just jump ahead a little bit, and let's say that they agree of having Ernest as a guide, and they are interested in going to room number 2 and seeing what's that about, okay? Just for the sake of demonstration, right? This first decision was made easily without the need of a roll. Okay, so we enter room number 2. Let's see what awaits our brave adventurers here. Withered Heads exhibit. On each side of this hallway, there is an exhibit with half a dozen withered orc heads. Oh my god. They will come to life as soon as someone passes by, making fun of the PCs. Oh, that's hilarious. Trap. Breaking the glass triggers a shock trap with 3d6 lightning damage. And treasure. Tribal artifacts. Okay. So, as they enter, let's imagine that they didn't cross it yet. Who would go first? Now, marching order. You would go for the decision here and look at the traits. Waynon is cowardly. She's probably not going first. Cuddles is angry all the time, so she's probably going in front here. It's not a character. I would use the Animal Companion emulator for Cuddles here, if I could show you all, but let's simplify our lives here. Kel wants to find an item here, and Erdith wants to pocket anything of value. So those two guys will probably argue to see who's going in front, right? So that would be like a first opportunity for us to roll a triple O. Let's see other traits of them that could help us here. Erdith will, since Kel is a blacksmith and knows, she managed to talk her way out. Erdith managed to talk her way out. So she's probably more charismatic. So she would probably be more likely to convince that she should go first. So we will roll a triple O check to make this group decision. Let's go to the rules here. Group actions. The obvious. Given the traits, what is the most predictable course of action? Erdith will go first. The option is Kel will go first. All right. Now the odd. What is an unexpected thing here? And another course of action that is not. It's out of left field. It could be that our cowardly character. What's her name? Waynon would go first, but I think this is a bit predictable. Let's do something different. Let's roll on focus. Let me put this table here, and I'll roll here on my die. 2d6. 6 and 6. Actually, the dog goes first. It is the odd. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the dog goes first. It is a good odd one. Cuddles goes and try to... Let me see what the result of the oracle roll is. Wound. Oh, wound. Perhaps... Yeah, if the dog goes, they'll try and bite... Ooh... The Cuddles will try and attack the orc head and might get wounded. Okay. That is interesting, right? Let's say the odd thing is Cuddles lunges towards the one of the orc heads as the orc head starts talking and gets blasted with the lightning strike. Oof, that is a terrible thing to happen. I wonder if I can add an orc head. Do I have orc heads here in Canva? I have lots of orcs, not particularly heads, no, just the head. Let me get one orc and I'll crop the head off. Okay, this is an orc. What do you like? Do you like the orc, guys? Let's crop the head. Boom, there you go. So we have orc heads here in the glass. Half a dozen, they say, but I don't put as many. It's too much for me to put just as a representation here. Okay, so we have our three options. The obvious, Erdith, the odd, Kel, no, the option Kel, and the odd Cuddles will strike. Now let's roll our triple check and see what happens. Boom. 3. Going for, this is something that you will memorize really fast, which is here. 4 to 6 is the obvious, 2 and 3 is the option, and 1 is the odd. So this is a 50% chance to be the obvious, 33% the option, and like 17% the odd. And you can double down. That means if you roll, if you think one of them is more likely to happen, you roll 2d6 and you choose your favorite result. In this case, the option happened. That means Kel. I think what even happens is that Cuddles starts barking and is beginning to go and attack the orc head. So Kel runs in front of everyone else, holds Cuddles in his hands. Cuddles is like very agitated, as a good Chihuahua is. And Kel says, let me go in front because Cuddles is giving us a lot of trouble. And as he goes, the orc heads start to talk and offend them and saying a lot of bad things. Then Winan is here on the corner, and Erdith looks at the orc heads and see that they carry valuable objects, because from the description here, tribal artifacts, I'm assuming that inside the glass, not only the heads are there, but there are like perhaps necklaces or spearheads that are valuable. What do you guys think? I know from the description of the adventure that Ernest will pretend that he's not seeing when the adventurers start to steal things. Let me see. There is somewhere that says that, but well, that's true. So he'll probably look the other way if they would try to do this. Now, this is the important question. We have a trait here for Erdith that says, I pocket anything I see that might have some value, right? So we should try and break the glass. This is an important thing. What else? She's a wizard of the School of Divination. What else? She studies, inquisitive, so she might be impulsive in trying to steal things, but she's not stupid. I think this is enough nuance for us to roll a triple O here to see what's their action. What do you guys think? What is the obvious thing for Erdith? Go ahead and knock the glass and grab the things? Or the obvious would be to try and first detect magic and see if there is a magical trap? Or something else entirely. As the orc heads come to life and they are advancing and they see this treasure, Erdith is very tempted, but will she consider simply breaking the glass? I think even me as the GM, I want to see this interaction going. So I would even say like Ernest says, I'll give you some time to appreciate my collection. Feel free to take your time. So he would advance here in the corridor and leave them alone with the collection, because ultimately he wants everyone to die here and become ghosts of the museum. So if they decide to break the glass, that's actually part of his plan. But the guys here, our characters, don't know that. So what say you? Let's see. You haven't seen the roll. Oh, that's bad. Let me grab the dice here and restart capture. Okay, that might help. Let me know if you can see the roll. Yeah, 2. Well, it'll be the same. What? Is it working? Can you see the dice? Okay. Hi, Steve. Glad to have you here, ready to back. Excellent. Oh, we're live, guys. Yay. If you are here, our campaign page is live. Let me see if it is actually live. Excellent. Let me change this. What is this? Yeah. I wanted to show the goal here, the funding goal, but there you go. 2 backers already. Yay, 3 backers. Let's go, guys. We're live. I think I'll delete that. Let me hide this. Okay. Okay. She cast a spell to see if there are traps. Okay, this is a good point. Maybe she could wait for the other to leave the room and then try to get the treasure. Okay. Do you think that's the obvious one? All right, it's alive. Thanks, Steph. Yeah, we're good. Let me change back to our demo here as we play a bit more. So Erdith is here, and okay. Steve, your number 1 backer. Congrats. Thank you. Appreciate it. You firsted it. Cheers. I think actually it would be odd if she went ahead and just broke the glass and tried to steal in front of everyone. So I like Leki's idea. She would wait for or try to convince the others to go ahead, and then she would do something there. The option would be just to cast a spell right now and see if there is a trap. And the odd would be to go ahead and break the glass straight in front and just grab the things. Or I don't know if she would like punch it, but perhaps use her staff and just like try to force open it. That would, I think it would activate the trap regardless. Thanks, Azrael. Number 6. Excellent. All right, so we have our 3 options here. Let's roll and see what Azrael does. Boom. The obvious. So she convinces the others to go ahead, follow. As I said, she's very charismatic. She says, hey, you might go ahead and follow the ghost, see if he's up to something. I'll go ahead and double check these orc heads here and see if there's any sort of magic. And I think they would agree, right? All right, Lekis, that's a very valid reason. All right, if you manage to come back, it would be much appreciated, but take your time, no problem. Okay. So she's very charismatic, so I think She will convince everyone. Okay, okay, let's follow him. It's all right. So Kel, holding cuddles, goes right ahead, and winning also goes. And now Edith has the space for herself. Let me put her on top of the other guy. Bloop. There you go. She has the space for herself. So she'll try and detect traps. Let's use them now, Triple O, as a mechanic, as a resolution mechanic. She will perhaps cast a spell. I don't know if her set of skills includes any particular spell that does that, but let's check her traits. Let me see. She's inquisitive, school of divination. She's a charlatan, so there are things that indicate that she might be good at that. She might be able to detect that. Right, so let's say that she could do it. Let's read again the type of trap that is here. Shock trap. Is this magical? Perhaps shock trap is not magical. It is just like, because this adventure assumes electricity. There is like, I read ahead and there's like batteries in another room. So perhaps it's not magical. So it will be harder for her to detect, right? It would be more of investigation check more than a magic check, and not necessarily something that she's very good at. So I'll go ahead and say that let's come up with 3 possible outcomes of her checking for traps. The option will be that she's able to detect it and deactivate it or not. I think deactivated, it would be too much. Let's say that the odd option is she not only does she detect the trap, she's also able to deactivate it. The option would be that she detects it, she knows there is a trap, so she won't try anything or will try something else. And the obvious thing would be that actually she won't even notice that there is a trap and might go ahead and try to open it. What do you think? Am I on the right path here? If you guys have any input. Let's go to the campaign page. All right, 23 backers. Woohoo! We're doing great, guys. Thank you so much for your support. So as you can see here, instead of choosing 3 different courses of action, we are choosing 3 different outcomes. This can be levels of success and failure, but depending on the action, success might be not even on the table, or failure might not be even on the table. So it is a very surprisingly, even though originally the triple O mechanic was not made as a mechanic for conflict resolution, it is surprisingly effective and flexible, because depending on your traits and the circumstances and the resources that your character has, including time, tools, skills, you can determine things like, for example, let's say a thief's trying to unlock a door, and you can have the triple O check, and failing is not one of the possible outcomes. They will succeed no matter what, but in 3 different levels of success, or if a character is attempting something that is very unlikely to succeed, you can have 3 levels of failure, or at most a partial success. So you have this without needing to use modifiers, stat numbers, skill levels, or anything. You're able to do a lot with only that. Let's see what Mika says. So stoked about this. I'm more of a solo narrative wargamer, and I see Triple O as a tool to actually give the minis, good and bad, their own stories and behaviors. Yeah, well, that's a very cool idea. Yeah, I saw more people saying that they are using Triple O with war games, and for exactly the same purpose, giving the choices that the characters make a reason, like a background, like, hey, Roski, I'm at work, but I had to stop by and say hi and good luck. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'll go ahead and say that, right? Okay, just to recap then. Obvious, she doesn't notice the trap. Option, she notices but is unable to disarm it. And the odd is that she actually is able to disarm the trap. I'm gonna roll and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, go. 2. Okay, so she starts to evaluate the thing, and as she's looking close to the glass, she probably sees some copper wiring going beyond it. The orc is shouting on her ear, lots of insults and everything. But she manages to see the trap and said, okay, this museum is big enough. I might find things to grab that do not require me to bypass a trap. I don't want to mess with that. So she leaves the heads behind and follow the other guys. Is it possible to add weird whimsy and wonder as digital with the Triple O? You mean as by the PDF? Unfortunately not. Since it's been distributed by Critical Kit, and the add-ons are only physical, but the Weird Whimsy and Wonder PDF is sold separately, unfortunately. I like, yeah, you know, I noticed that I had WWW and OOO, and I mean, it's been a phase, and a phase of psychedelic colors as well. Both my last 2 releases are very bold in colors and everything. Thank you for backing, thank you for support, appreciate it. All right, so let's move on in the adventure here. She said, you know what? Never mind. She joins the others, and now they have here 2 paths to follow. And Ernest starts to explain their choices. Well, you have here behind me this pedestal, the royal treasure of Prince Kishan, the son of the sun, with tapestries. Or if you want to go in the other direction, we have the entomology exhibit with butterflies. Which way would you like to go? Now they have a decision to make. Here, again, this is a group decision. If no option is obvious to you, you can use the Triple O and come up with 3 courses of action and roll. But again, if sometimes you look at their traits and something pops up that makes the decision more obvious. In our case, since Erdith likes valuable things and Kel is trying to find the specific artifact, these are both things that we found in their character sheets. When the ghost explains these 2 options, I think they would be more tempted to follow to room number 3, because there is a chance that whatever they're looking for, the artifact and valuable things, are more likely to be here. So I can go and make an executive decision to say, well, that is the obvious thing. I don't even need to roll. They will follow him to room number 3. And that's what I want to do, right? So the tool is flexible. You don't have to roll every time. Otherwise, you might stall your adventure. And when a decision is very obvious or clear enough, you can just go ahead and choose that course of action. Okay, so they arrive at room number 3. And as described by the adventure, Ernest loves describing the things. He likes to tell the stories about the artifacts. So I think he will say, let me see. This short pedestal here holds this gem big as a coconut, the royal treasure of Prince Kishan, the son of the sun. Do you pronounce these two words the same? I don't know. And there's this beautiful tapestry here on the back wall. Please enjoy. Now, there's a trap. Of course there is. Lifting the gem triggers a fire jet trap. Everybody in the room has to make a save. If the trap's triggered, the tapestry catches fire and it is destroyed. But they find a way to get the gem. It is 100 gold pieces, and the tapestry is another 100 gold pieces. Okay. Now, okay. If you were playing this as a character, I mean, now that you know that there is a trap, you would go ahead and try and find a different way to get the gem. But now we're playing as the GM, and we are interested in their behavior and see what they would do, right? And I think here it is a moment for a triple check, for sure. Kel, I think let's go ahead and say this. Since we're playing this for demo, let's go ahead and let's look at this backstory bit here. Kel has, you have one desire, find the artifact that proves the king's true nature. And I would, as the GM, perhaps use this opportunity, especially if you were a bit more ahead of the adventure. But let's do this here to say, Kel, you look at this tapestry and it shows a ritual that transformed a creature from the abyss into a king, and you see his coronation happening afterwards. So this tapestry here shows the true nature of the king. His doppelganger is like a demon, and now the story is told here that he went through a ritual and is posing as the king. If you get this, you may prove the king's true nature, right? Why not? Just instilling some sort of a drama into the story. Erdith is probably more interested in the gem, of course, and Wayne find info or two to accuse someone is here on her backstory and is looking for justice. So perhaps she's also with Kel here into finding, trying to get this tapestry, right? So we have a very dramatic situation here. And once more, Ernest says, I'll leave you alone to explore these beautiful items. I'll see you soon. And he kind of goes into the hallway, and Erdith gets closer to the gem. Kel and Winning get closer to the tapestry. Now, what's about to happen here? Now, if Erdith goes for the gem before they are able to get the tapestry, they all get hurt. Or she might try and do something to not activate the trap. What you guys think? Is it possible? Okay. Is it finished? Any possible way to add a feeling table? Feelings. Oh, you mean how they're feeling? Like oh, that's a good idea. I'll add it here in my notes. You mean if like they're scared, afraid, or things like that? I do have right now. Let me show you what's already on the one page is their disposition. They're aggressive, cautious, hostile, indifferent, suspicion, timid, open, eager, enthusiastic, friendly. Does that cover what you mean, or or would be something different? I'd love to hear your options. No, it's not finished. No, I perhaps have more space, especially if we reach our stretch goal. But yeah, go ahead. I'll make a note here. Sparks. If this disposition is not exactly what you mean, I'll be willing to talk. Oh, that covers. Okay. All right. Now, let's go back to our situation here. I think there is a good chance that while Kel and Waning are distracted looking at this tapestry, that our Erdith will go ahead and try and grab this thing. It's the size of a coconut, so there's no way to do this stealthily, I don't think. But it is very valuable. Now, there are three possible things. Like, we can do it in different ways. We could have a group action, resolve that as a group action. What's their course of action here? And imagine that they are all looking at each other and talking. Or we could decide that these two are looking at the tapestry and she has this opportunity. So we would define the three courses of action for Erdith, right? For this, there is a one of the tables that I'm considering adding is party focus. When you want to decide what they're looking at, what they're focusing at as a group right now. For example, they're focusing on whatever the NPC is talking, or they're focusing on finding a way out, or they're focusing on finding treasure or traps, or defending themselves and things like that. This could be a good use of this table. But for now, we have a focus table that is more generic that we might roll on and see if we can interpret it in a valid way here. Let's go for the focus table. It's a general feeling of what the party is up to. Let me roll 2d6. Boom. 5 and 3. 5 and 3 is senses. Let's say 3 and 5, the opposite. And maneuver. Senses is good. So yeah, I think senses actually goes with what we said. So they're looking carefully for on the objects they're focused on. So I think if this is the case, Erdith has a chance to do it by herself. Now, this is an important question. Would they consider This is I think the most important question you can use triple hold for, which is, it is not like a reaction to a thing, like when a character receives a prompt and you would, as a game master, ask, what do you do? Instead is when there is a situation with no immediate threats and the character might proactively do something. And then you have to think, would they consider like placing the gem in the statue's eye? Or would they consider offering meat to the griffin? Did they think of searching for traps? Did they think to bring a fishing net? This is a very opportune moment to use this, right? So would she consider checking for traps in this very moment? And then you create 3 options. I would say that the obvious would be the yes, she checked for traps first. The option in the odd, I don't know. And here what you can do is, which is something that in the zine I have time to explain better, is if at any point you are having trouble finding the option in the odd, you can go ahead and roll on the Spark tables to create it, or leave them blank, roll the triple O check, and just in case you roll one of the other 2, then you create what it is. Sometimes you just want to go along, and since there is a 50% chance of you rolling the obvious thing, you don't waste your time creating the other choices if you're not going to use it. I like to create them because they're a very good creative exercise. It is like injecting synapses in the brain cells in a way that is, I think it's good. But sometimes you can go ahead and just roll once. So let's say this is the case, right? The obvious, it is that she will check for traps. The option in the odd, we don't know, but I'm going to roll. And in case I roll one of them, then we go ahead and decide. Let's do this. 6, there you go. It is the obvious. She's going to check for traps. So she goes ahead and checks for traps. This one, let me see the description of the trap once more to see if it is an obvious trigger. Rule number 3. A fire jet trap lifting the gem. Is it? I don't think it's very obvious to see that. Perhaps there is like little holes from when the fire comes out. Let's say then that she checks for traps, but she's not a thief. She is fascinated by the gem. These little holes might not be that obvious, might be part of the decoration of the pedestal, so they're hard to spot. So I would say that it is the option. The option would be that she actually detects the trap. The obvious thing would be, let's say, that she does not detect the trap exactly, but as she gets close, she notices that perhaps there is something strange about it, right? And the odd would be she accidentally triggers the trap as she is examining it. Why not? That would be like terrible, right? But now, let's use the double down. Double down. If you feel a character is more inclined to act in a certain way, or in this case, one of the outcomes is more likely, I can roll 2d6 and pick my favorite result. So I think giving the you know what? Since she's trying to do it while the other characters are not looking, perhaps she's not concentrating enough. She has like one eye on the gem, and she's looking up to see if the other characters are looking at her, and she's also trying to look down the hallway to see if the ghost will notice her. So she's more likely to make a mistake. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to say is, although it is the odd thing that she would trigger the trap by accident, in this, considering the context, it is more likely that she will cause this accident. So I will roll 2d6. In case one of them is the odd, I'll pick the one. Right? Is it funded already? Yay! Woohoo! That's awesome. All right. It was like 30 minutes or less. Sweet. Thanks, everyone. That is fantastic. Woohoo! Let me put some. Yay! Yay! That's awesome. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. You are the best. I'm so surprised and happy. All right, spammy. That's so good. Thanks, guys. Whew, what a relief. I can sleep well. So we're funded. Sweet. All right, so we can roll this very high stakes. Now, again, doubling down. And going for the odd. She might trigger the thing, okay? Let me roll 2 dice. Luckily for her, there is no 1. But I can choose now what is my favorite choice here. I think the obvious, right? The obvious thing would be that she looks again. She doesn't detect a trap, but she notices that there is something strange, something weird. So although there is no trap, she might find that a different approach to take this gem is called for. Meanwhile, the other guys are probably trying to take the tapestry. So they have time to take the tapestry before she takes out the gem. Because one of the consequences would be that the tapestry is set on fire and they would lose it. So they are rolling it down. There's no trap in the tapestry. They're rolling it down and taking it with them. This current example is interesting. Use odd as a kind of player fumble. The player misunderstands the puzzle or intentionally triggers their trap because they think it's not really a trap. Yeah, you have this. It's like the possibility of having a critical failure, a fumble, pretty much. That's the beauty, I think, on having these 3 flexible results, that you can really map different things to the context the action is being taken, right? So they, as we go ahead here, the guys roll up this tapestry, and I think what would be dramatic here in this moment will be like these 2, they have what they were looking for in this museum, and they don't have any reason to keep exploring. So would they consider just trying to leave, and would they convince Edith to follow them along? And if they leave, try to leave, we know that Ernest would raise animated objects and lock the doors and shut the windows, and then they would discover that they are trapped in this thing here, in this museum. And that would be like, there would be very interesting consequences here. This is a moment of a party decision. We have two people here arguing for leaving the place, and one person arguing to stay. Then we have a potential of a combat where we have like even using triple O check as a combat resolution mechanic as well. So you see, and all of that, knowing the spoilers of the adventure, knowing everything, that doesn't rob us from the fun of playing through the adventure, because we are on the other side of the GM screen, so to speak, right? Well, I think as demoing, like, I got to show you guys more or less the feeling of the tool, and it's been an hour. I think, should we end here? How are you guys doing? Let me see. We're 15 people still watching around. Was it enough for you guys to grab more or less what I'm going for here? Again, I'm having, if you missed the beginning, I'm having new tables coming. Specific actions for combat is going to be a D66, so 36 actions. This is just a sample. For social encounters as well, for exploration, for interpreting clues, speeches or descriptions that you say to them, and even questions that the characters would ask, the players would ask in behalf of the characters. Let's put it this way. And then step-by-step procedures, examples of play, how to use, tips and tricks on the best ways to, when to let go of the role altogether, when to create options beforehand or afterwards. All of that in a concise 40-ish pages. And we're doing very well. Perhaps we reach the first stretch goal. And then you get to vote on what tables to include. Even with the option of you guys suggesting a new table all together, and I'll create it. Why not, right? You have add-ons to pick from. You have lots of combos. You can get more of one of my games together in physical format. And again, we have a cross collab going on. If you back Dead Boy and Triple O, you pay just one shipping, regardless of the quantity of books you get. And don't forget, if you back 5 or more projects, you get the exclusive Zinetopia digital zine with my Animal Companion emulator and 60 plus pages of other creators. Right? How are we doing? Anything about characters' manners? Ooh, interesting. That's a good one. That's a good one. Because disposition is not necessarily manners, right? Yeah, I like that. I'll put it in the list as one option for the stretch goal. Good call. All right, very good. Let me shout out once again my partners of the Zine Month All Ages campaign here. You can have Mystery Snacks, bite-sized TTRPG mysteries for your gaming table. Lantern Lights, TTRPG created by kids for kids, setting neutral to play with kids as young as 8. We, gamified self-care RPG, and Monstrous Detectives. And there's more. There is a link on the description that says all ages RPGs, with a list of everyone that is participating on this collective effort. But just to make it clear, not all of them are part of Zinetopia Backer Kit, so they won't count for that back 5 games and get the free zine. Some of them are in Kickstarter or on itch, so they don't count. This thing that I mentioned of backing 5 games is exclusively a where is it? Backer Kit's Zinetopia thing that is not me that is promoting. It's they are promoting by themselves, right? So it's here, Zinetopia. Okay? But then again, I would appreciate if you guys check them all out. Lots of cool stuff going on. All right? I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. That was a lot of fun. I hope I had a chance to explain a bit more about the project, a bit more how you use this tool in many different ways. And I appreciate your support. If you're already backed, sharing it around is so useful, really. Like word of mouth. One single passing mention of a third party is like 10 times more valuable than any effort of self-promoting that I would do. And sometimes I get like mentions on Reddit that somebody did without my my intervening, and that is enough for me to get lots of sales on other books. So if you know of someone that wants to experiment with solo play and want to try out, has a lot of adventure modules that they collected, and they can't find players to play, they want to experience it as a solo player, but then do it as a GM, I think this tool will be very helpful, and you would help out a lot if you could share with them. All right? I know it's a lot to ask. Don't feel pressured. Everyone has a lot of things going on, but I appreciate all the help that I can get. All right? So guys, that's it for me today. Thank you very much for hanging out. This will be saved on my YouTube channel, so you can refer back to it. And I hope you have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are. And I talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much. Bye. Boom. Let me spend some more of this before I go. See you guys. Bye-bye.